Straight up. Hey, turn your phone off. Take your clothes off.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Process Sports Radio. Due to popular demand, he is back. Balraj from More Than a Sports Podcast is back. We're going to do it again 2 weeks in a row. Balraj, my man, how are you doing?
I am feeling great, but not this. This team needs to step it up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that today too.
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about the NBA Finals, our boy Kyrie Irving and his comments in the media and all that stuff. But before all of that, make sure you follow Balraj and More Than a Sports on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and all my other handles. And like I said, guys, this is for you guys. We had a lot of people that had positive feedback from it, so we're gonna keep going with it. So Balraj, bro, let's go right into it, bro. What have you thought about the finals so far after 2 games?
What have I thought about the finals after 2 games?
Yeah.
Like I said, I mentioned this earlier before. I thought this finals probably should have happened 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which probably would have been a lot more entertaining and it would have been
For
a
sure.
lot more hype because that was LeBron James joining the Miami Heat versus Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, and Steve Nash. Which
Even
was
Pau Gasol, right? Yeah.
their big four / whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then we get the version of like LeBron switching teams, which I never thought would have happened.
Yeah, it's still weird seeing. It's weird seeing LeBron and the Lakers, right? Whenever
Yeah.
I think of LeBron, I think about like Cleveland Cavaliers or Miami Heat
Miami,
slightly,
yeah.
but like I always think about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
If somebody told you 10 years ago that, you know what, like we'll see this final again, but obviously Kobe would have retired. And you know what, we're going to switch the best player for the best player. LeBron's going to leave to the Lakers and they're going to face each other. You'd have been like, you're
And
crazy.
then and Dwight Howard's still going to be in the Lakers, but you're not going to think about everything he went through in between there to get to that.
Yeah, that's like a little just flashback, wind
Yeah,
back
like,
to that.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, like
talking about the current finals right
current
now,
finals, not 10 years ago, what we wish happened.
yeah, I just honestly like I want the finals to be more entertaining. I don't want it to be a sweep, but it looks like it's going to be a sweep regardless. I hope still it isn't.
Mhm.
But it's been boring. I think
It
we
has
both
been.
agree. It's been like super boring.
It has been really boring. Like I was trying to watch the game last night and like just getting sidetracked. Like the Lakers were up big, and then it was kind of like, okay, well the game's pretty much over. We're in the middle of the second quarter, third quarter, right? Yes, Miami kind of made a comeback at the end and kind of made it close, but you kind of knew the Lakers were in control. And honestly, it looks like I don't know if it's just that LeBron and AD are so good together, but I just feel like they're like not even like at full max, like they're going at it, right? Like I just feel like they're like I don't know whether because of the injuries. Because honestly, if I felt like if Dragic and Bam didn't get
Adebayo,
hurt,
yeah.
like I think there would have been a lot more fight, and it's sad. It's kind of like last year's finals when KD got hurt. Well, we already knew
Yeah.
KD was hurt before, but then when Clay got hurt as well, and then when Steph missed a game or Clay missed a game, it was kind of like kind of ruined the competitive balance of it, right. And like yourself, like
Yeah.
I want to see exciting basketball. Yes, we picked the Lakers to win, but you want to see like them fight for it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
it's the finals,
definitely.
right?
Yeah. The thing is, game one, everybody was like, the Miami Heat like, had good spirit, like, oh, we're the underdogs. We don't hear the outside noise. We feel like we're going to play Miami Heat basketball, which is nobody can outwork us.
Yeah.
And one play that, like, I was like, okay, this is a problem was when Bam Adebayo tried to go through Dwight Howard. Bam's a pretty big guy, but Dwight Howard's shoulders are probably bigger than both of us combined at this
Yeah,
point.
dude,
in his
Dwight
life.
Howard's a physical freak.
And he tried to go through him, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and that's where he fucked up his shoulder. I'm like, oh my God, Bam, come on now. And the Lakers are just too big for the Heat. It's like you could notice it. It's like Anthony Davis yesterday. It looked like he was playing against little kids. That's what it felt
Dude,
like.
I totally agree with you, man. He's like Kelly Olynyk was on him, bro. I'm like, bro, this is a mismatch the whole game. Like Kelly Olynyk, he's Canadian, good on him. Like he tries
shout
his
out
best, but
Canadians,
like,
yeah.
bro, he's not gonna stop Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah.
And like,
And their zone isn't working because for some reason they don't play their traditional zones where they have the
No.
two smaller guards up front and they have the bigger. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not big a team anyways, but Anthony Davis is out there playing with like when you play with little kids right now. It's like grab the.
But-
He's like no box out, no nothing. He just grabs it, puts it back in.
you think about it this way: when the Miami's run to the finals, right? They beat an Indiana team who had I forget was Sabonis playing and
No, he was. I
no,
don't think
Sabonis
so.
wasn't. So Indiana was
No.
missing Sabonis, who again is
Yeah.
a great big, right? Then
Yeah.
you have They played against Giannis, where Jimmy Butler literally just got onto Giannis' head and shut him down, right?
Yeah,
And then in Boston, they don't have.
yeah. They
Boston's
didn't
not
really
very
have a big.
team.
Yeah,
They're not a very big team, right? They're more of a
Yeah.
wing guard based team, right? Now when you're playing the Lakers, right? Not only do you have AD, but you have LeBron, and I didn't know this. I didn't think about this before, but LeBron James is bigger than Bam Adebayo.
yeah.
He's bigger than
He
Bam
is,
Adebayo.
yeah.
And LeBron James is playing point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Right? That for me is like, okay, well, like it's a mismatch, right? And I thought Miami's like their system, like you said, their zone defense, like the mentality they have, like the physical mentality they play with, right? I thought that would have helped them, and
Yeah.
it would have been much closer of a series. But bro, like honestly speaking, like this has been really like a mismatch. After the first quarter of game one, it's been kind of a blowout the entire time, and it's kind of. I'm not saying like it's ruined it. Like I was talking to some people yesterday about. I'm like, yeah, like this is like a really boring finals, right? Like it's not exciting and it's not competitive. People are like, what do you mean? Like LeBron finally got an easy path to the finals. Well, I'm like, as a fan, like of course, like for LeBron, that's awesome for him. He gets an easier path to finals. But as a fan, for us basketball fans, we want to see like exciting basketball, right?
Yeah. And that's the problem. It is. I mean, I guess the luck has finally caught up to LeBron, where he's not the underdog and he's like a favorite. But the last time he was a favorite was in 2011, and we all know how that turned out.
Exactly.
But I
Well, I mean,
remember,
like LeBron. I think LeBron was a favorite in 2012 against OKC. Wouldn't he not have been with that Miami team?
no, they were actually underdogs in that. Vegas had them as underdogs in that
Oh,
finals.
right, yeah, because
Yeah.
that's when the the Thunder beat the Lakers that year. The Lakers had just come on back,
Yeah.
two straight finals, a couple finals appearances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kobe was still Kobe.
Yeah. That's when the
Yeah, like
Thunder were on the rise. They beat the Lakers,
they
and
beat
then
the
they
Lakers, they beat the Mavericks,
Mavericks,
and
and
the
then they lost.
Spurs, and the
Yeah.
Spurs, the
And then
Spurs,
they lost against the Heat.
the Heat. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like I said, like I think it's great that like. I think it's good. I think it's great that we're gonna see the Lakers probably win a title because I wanted to see LeBron win another title, right?
Yeah.
Just for his legacy and everything. But as a fan, as somebody that wants to watch like exciting games, have
Yeah.
them close, it's kind of a letdown in that aspect where it's like, okay, we know the Lakers are gonna win now, right?
Honestly, it felt like it was like a 20 to 30 point lead the entire game. But
Even
then
though it wasn't.
anytime the Lakers stretched it out, the Heat would make a run and come back to make it to like a 12-point game. But that's where it was the entire second game that was it. Like
Yeah.
the Lakers would push the lead and they kind of took their feet off the gas pedal, and then the Heat would come back. You got UD in the timeout just like going
He's
ham.
going
Like,
at them, right? He's like,
yo,
and
this.
then I think I saw like D Wade tweet out like you have to have that type of mentality when you're playing on the court. If Udonis has that mentality on the bench, you gotta have that fight, right? And
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like do you think like Miami's given up? Like they just kind of like said, you don't forget, like we lost two of our best players, we're done.
It feels like that way just because I mean even the commentators Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy are like, oh, Miami's not playing with the Miami Heat culture. There's no way the Miami Heat should be outworked. But just think about what they're going up against. And as like a fan and even as somebody who's watching the game, you're versing two top players in the league, maybe top five, and they made first team All NBA. And then you got these players. You got Jimmy's like maybe a top 15, maybe a top 20 player, maybe, and got a great coach. And you play really hard, but when you're playing against talent like that, it's just like, what can we do when we're trying our hardest out here when Anthony Davis is grabbing boards and just shooting it over?
Facts. And like I think once those injuries hit and they kind of realize like, hey, we're gonna be undermanned, I think that they kind of realize that it's kind of over and done with, right?
Yeah.
I know Jimmy Butler's a dog and he's a competitive freak of nature. I know Pat Riley is too, but like it's so hard against this Lakers team because LeBron and AD are firing on all cylinders right now, right? Like it's hard, bro. Like I'm getting like harsh vibes from like 2018 Cavs versus Warriors, where like the Cavs were just garbage, dude, and like you knew it was gonna be a sweep anyway, right? You knew it was gonna be a sweep, right? And it sucks because like I was really looking forward to because I felt Miami, the way they played and the way like they fought and they had like a dog mentality. I thought that they were gonna like really push the Lakers. And the fact that injuries kind of got in the way, it sucks, bro. Like it really sucks. But it's not over yet. It's only 2-0.
Yeah.
I think we kind of like buried the grave for the Heat. So what do you think the Heat need to do to get back into the series?
I believe the Heat have a lot of positives right now. Tyler Hero is 20 years old and he looks in my opinion, I think he's the most skilled player on the Miami Heat. There's no question about
pure,
that.
Like offensive skill wise.
Oh my God, bro!
Yeah,
he made Caruso at one point went behind the back, crossover to the rim. I'm like, that's Caruso. Caruso plays awesome D.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this guy's only 20 years old. And I saw him one time in the lane off the wrong foot, one hand floater. And even Jeff Van Gundy was saying, he's like, this kid's like really talented.
He is, dude.
They got two shooters that have potentially can get hot. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robertson. I call him
Duncan
mini
Robinson,
Steph
dude, is once Duncan
and mini
Robinson
Clay.
starts going, bro, he's automatic, bro. The way he's Stephen A. Smith calls him a sniper. He's a sniper, bro. Like
There's a sniper. Yeah.
when he gets in that rhythm, bro, it's automatic with him, right? And like,
So, but yeah, what?
go ahead.
I was gonna say what I feel like the Heat have to do is they gotta make the game physical and scrappy. You can't beat the Lakers like we're gonna outscore the Lakers. You can't because you've tried that for the last
They
two
don't have
games.
the offensive firepower.
You
Go
don't.
head to head with the Lakers like that.
You're undersized to begin
Mhm.
with, and then you physically can't match up with them.
Exactly.
I posted a clip earlier on my page when Jay Crowder, when LeBron in game one was like flexing, and then Jay Crowder slapped the ball out of his hand, and 80s there. Like that's the Heat culture. You can't be like the 2016 Cavs when they beat the Warriors. They made the game more physical.
Exactly.
They bullied
They threw Tristan Thompson out there. They had Kevin Love out there. They threw bodies at them, and that's what got them in trouble. Because, like I said, they lost Bogut, and when they threw bodies at Steph Curry and stuff like that, they made him run through screens and stuff like that. Got him tired, bro, and going down.
And I feel like the Heat again. I think they're gonna get Bam for second game. I saw a report that he'll be back
for
the
game
second.
3. Yeah, Bam's
game 3, and I feel like he'll make somewhat of a difference. Maybe he'll have more energy coming off. Maybe they should just start UD. I feel like give him like 5-10 minutes to piss off Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis right now, there's nobody on the Heat that is making him work for anything.
No, it's all been like literally they throw the ball to AD and he has his way, right? He's literally, what was he like? 15,
yesterday, he was like 14 or 15 before he missed a shot.
Yeah, exactly. 14 or 15. He was unbelievable shooting percentage yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? It was like unheard of. And like that's the testament. Like I said, like Kelly Olynyk cannot guard Anthony Davis, right?
Oh.
I thought, but going into the series, right? Bam might be undersized compared to 80, right?
Yeah.
But I think Bam, though he plays and his energy level, he would make 80 work for those points. Right now, 80 is not working. It's automatic points for him.
Yeah. I mean, Bam will obviously make it tougher. And when they play zone, the problem is you can't really match up. So it's whoever's there has to guard Anthony Davis. And when you're playing zone, you can't really put a body on someone.
Mm-mm.
Yesterday, I saw a play where Anthony Davis catches the ball and Jay Crowder's like in his face, and then he just shot it over him. There was no contest. Like KD, when somebody's on KD, you can't really contest his shot. If Bam's there, at least he'll get more physical and move up. And I honestly feel that he should mix up their defense. Don't play zone the entire game, because then the Lakers know what they're facing, and you have Rajon Rondo and LeBron James with the two highest IQs in the game, and they're shredding that. They're shredding the defense. Like
exactly.
You got to mix it up. Show them different looks.
Yeah, and I think there is potential. Like you said, you have a good coach in Eric Spoelstra. You have 100%. Pieces there where they can make those adjustments, right? But the thing is, like, will they make those right adjustments, right? Or like I said, I think if Miami wins a game, hopefully this next game, it'll give them confidence, right?
Yeah.
I think that's one thing. If they realize they can beat the Lakers and then really truly compete with them, I feel that will really help their psyche, where they feel like, okay, we can compete with these guys. They're not gonna walk away with this title like everybody predicts. We're gonna make them work for it, right?
Yeah. I
feel like that's something that we need, that will really not only increase the entertainment level of the finals, but also help Miami psychologically realize that, hey, we can compete with them, and that's something that potentially we can see coming tomorrow.
100%. And I feel like the only time we've kind of seen the Heat like even have a lead was in the beginning of game 1, where they're up like 12, and I'm like, yo, this might be a series.
Yeah, first quarter of game 1, I'm like, whoa. Like,
yeah,
I took a step like, whoa. Like, I didn't.
I'm like, damn, the Heat
looking really good.
Miami out here really bringing that heat.
Yeah, right? They're really bringing the heat, right?
Yeah, right.
And then
the Lakers just became the Lakers,
they flipped the switch midway to the first quarter, and then that was it after that, right? Where Miami just kind of they went down. The level was up. So they're up super hard, and the Lakers went up like that. But who do you think your Finals MVP is so far right now? Because for me, I thought LeBron is going to win it, and I still think he has a chance. But right now, I think it's Anthony Davis, clear cut, who's the Finals MVP.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the problem is LeBron really had to get It depends on how they look at it, because LeBron, I think, is averaging close to a triple-double right now. Not
Yeah,
fully. I
I think he
think
had like 33,
at
11,
99.
something,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. He's close to a triple-double. And then Anthony Davis is just like averaging, I think, what did he has, like 67 or 68 points
67.
towards.
He's averaging like 35 points, and his like shooting percentage is through the roof right now, dude.
Yeah, so the problem is when they're playing zone is like, as if I'm Coach Spo, I know like the one weakness in LeBron's game is his jump shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So when they play zone, like there was a point yesterday where LeBron was coming up and he's left wide open, and it was like a practice jump shot. But I will live with LeBron taking those jump shots rather than LeBron feasting in the paint.
Exactly. If LeBron beats you by jump shots,
You live with it.
you can live with that because you know what?
Yeah.
That's not his strength, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're letting him take it to the lane with no imposition at all, then then you can't live with that because that guy's, like you said before, he's the greatest driver of the basketball.
Of the basketball, yeah. So the thing is, Miami's like, okay, we're gonna make the Lakers shoot these 3-pointers. He shot 48 3-pointers yesterday.
47 threes yesterday, and they were 16 for 47 yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
They're just throwing him up yesterday, and the problem is when they miss, the board comes out. Anthony Davis is like, "Oh, I got Kendrick Nunn on me. I'm gonna catch this board and put it right
Kendrick
in."
Nunn did block AD earlier.
Yeah. AD kind of took it for granted that he had that layup, kind of like get it out. Yeah, and I think LeBron again. I saw him yesterday. He didn't shoot really well with his jumpers, and it was mostly in the paint. He had assists and he has rebounds. But Anthony Davis has the package, and he's feasting right now. So in my opinion, I think Anthony Davis is probably going to get the MVP right now. But again, if LeBron wants in his head, he could be like, okay, I'll do this and this and this, average a triple-double, and he'll probably end up getting.
Yeah, because think about this, right? The media votes for whoever wins Finals MVP, right? If the media, like I said, that's why I said before, I'm like, Anthony Davis got to do something like never seen before to change the narrative and let him win Finals MVP. I think he's playing at a clip right now where I said a couple weeks ago, I don't think he's a top 5 player.
Yeah.
Bro, right now he's playing like a top 5 player.
Top 5 player, yeah, definitely.
He is playing like a top 5 player right now, right?
Yeah.
And I think with that, and like, yes, LeBron is carrying the offense and he's basically facilitating. And I think we were talking about this, we'll go into this a bit later with his other former teammate, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier where LeBron's deferring to him right now.
Yeah.
He's deferring to AD. He's letting AD get his first, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's really giving AD a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah. And another thing is, I feel like a lot of people, like LeBron mentioned when the the MVP voting came out, he's like, I only got like 12 first place votes or something 16. Like that. And he's like, it's not about who the best player is, essentially. It's more about the narrative. What the media loves about being the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. What the media wants to portray, right?
Yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people do want LeBron. Like, LeBron should win the Finals MVP. It's for his legacy, whatever, etc. But I think honestly, deep inside, LeBron doesn't really care. He doesn't care between him and Anthony Davis who gets it. Yeah. And I feel like the media wants to have a good narrative. Like, LeBron wins his 4th championship with 4 MVPs. Is he better than Michael Jordan? Is he in the GOAT discussion?
Here's the thing though. I think if Anthony Davis wins the Finals MVP, right, people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, LeBron's not better than Jordan because Jordan went 6 for 6 and won 6 Finals MVPs," right?
Yeah.
But they're not understand the fact where you can clearly see LeBron is not being as aggressive as he normally is. He's deferring, right?
Yeah, and Michael Jordan never played with somebody that's the talent level of Anthony Davis. Anthony
much
Davis
respect to Scottie Pippen. He's
yeah.
not at the same talent levels of Anthony Davis.
Yeah, and the offense was ran through Michael Jordan in Chicago. Mm-hmm. They ran the offense through Michael Jordan. The Lakers don't run their offense through LeBron James. They actually run it through Anthony Davis.
LeBron's the one who's running the offense. Though.
Yeah, but it's like, get the ball to AD. He's our best scorer. We're going to give it to him, and we'll see what happens. And if LeBron's like Anthony Davis isn't feeling today, okay, I'll do my load. But like, we've seen LeBron in the past where he carries teams to the finals.
Oh, dude, literally. he carried a sack of garbage to the finals, bro. Like, he literally didn't carry anybody to the finals.
Yeah, so again, I think this, as basketball fans, there's casual fans, and then there's the media, and then there's like us, we're like hoopers, where we see the game.
Like, you look. So for me, I can look at when I watch the game, I can see, okay, look, LeBron is clearly deferring the ball to Anthony Davis. He wants Anthony Davis to get his first. Right? Yeah, and like you said, it's absolutely correct. If Anthony Davis's game is off, LeBron will be like, he's smart to be like, okay, Anthony Davis, he doesn't got it going on. I will be more aggressive today.
Yeah, right? That's yeah.
I feel like it's simple as I think LeBron wants AD to get his first, and then he realized, like you said, the offense is run through AD, right? Yeah. LeBron runs the offense through AD.
Yeah.
I feel like once he gets kind of like he gets a good feeling because LeBron, like you said, he's the highest, smartest basketball player.
Best ball
Once
player,
he realizes
yeah.
what gets the feel of the game, then he makes his current adjustments. That's what makes him so great. Is where he's able to adapt in so many different situations in the game of basketball. Where, for example, if his jump shot's on, he's going to go to that's his spot on the 3-point line, do his little step back and
Yeah, they'll
hit
step
it,
back.
right?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to do that,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, I think that it looks like it's over right now, the series, but Miami does have a chance to.
Miami has to win the next game. They have to win the next game.
If it's 3-0, then we know it's over, right?
Yeah,
if
then we know it's over.
if Miami, I don't even know if Miami loses this next game, right? That if as long as it's close, like it's a close game, then I'll be okay, fine, right? But if they get blown out again, I mean, like it's not looking good because I think I was reading a stat where it's like viewership is down, like 50% of the viewership is down 50% from last year.
Yeah.
And last year had the Warriors and the Raptors. It wasn't LeBron James, right? You would think if LeBron James was playing, there'd be a lot more viewers because the games are not as exciting and they're blowouts. Nobody's gonna watch, right?
True. Facts.
So, I think we'll see what happens tomorrow. But let's stick in the world of NBA where Kyrie Irving was in the news again for his comments on Kevin Durant's podcast, where he basically said that he can look at KD, and this is the first motherfucker he can look at who can make a shot at the end of the game, right?
And I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's like, "Oh, it's a shot at LeBron. He's saying this and this. He's throwing more shade towards LeBron." He also did say he does not think the Nets need a head coach after they just hired Steve Nash, who was hand chosen by Kevin Durant. Yeah. Let me hear what you think about Kyrie Irving's comments.
Our boy Kyrie. I honestly, Kyrie's like one of my favorite players to watch. So,
dude, he's an unbelievable player to watch.
But Kyrie Irving on the basketball court is like watching a magician. That's what I say. But sometimes when Kyrie Irving speaks, I kind of like scratch my head like the earth is flat. I'm like, oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, some of the comments Kyrie makes are just
it's
like,
a little bit out there, his thinking, right?
Like, right? So, and then, Kevin Durant, he's like, I'm going to get on the podcast. I'll get my boy Kyrie. And he's like, oh, I felt like if I didn't take the last shot on my other teams, like I felt like I was the bad person. Like I had to take the shot. And I agree with that. But the thing is, he's like, when he said, now I'm on the Nets and the Nets have KD, and he's like, I don't feel bad if Kevin Durant takes the shot, not because I know you're as bad as me and we both have so whatever people call it, the clutch gene. That's what essentially he was saying, right? But the big problem is LeBron James was with Kyrie Irving, and I don't think he's talking about Tatum. I don't think he's talking about the Boston Celtics.
It's pretty obvious who he's talking about. He's not talking about Anthony Bennett. Or he's not talking about Kevin Thompson. He's not talking about Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward. He's talking about LeBron James. You know who he's talking about.
And I mean, at the end of the day, Kyrie can obviously have his opinion, and I kind of respect what he said, but you can't. It's basically throwing shade at LeBron. It is.
He's like the media did it. The media hyped it up, and you're putting two brothers against. Bro, why are you backtracking? You said what you said. Own it. Say that is what you said. Don't change the narrative. Like, oh, it's the media that did it. The media's place to. You went on Kevin Durant's podcast. You basically said, this is the first guy that I've ever played with that I feel like can match me and the game be a closer like that. Right?
Yeah, and the problem I have with Kyrie is like, don't throw these like cryptic tweets and like talk about. Just own it. Be like, honestly, like I played with LeBron. LeBron's probably gonna go down as one or two of the best players of all time. But I felt I'm a bad motherfucker too, and you see my work. I hit that shot in Cleveland, so I straight up told LeBron, and LeBron believed in me that I should be taking the last shot, and we had that respect between each other. Mm-hmm. LeBron's still a bad motherfucker, and he's probably the top 5 player of all time. Say it like that. Don't be like, this
is the first guy I can look at who can make the shot at the end of the game, right? Like, bro, like what I will say about this Kyrie Irving is this: we were talking about this, he's got a lot of Kobe Bryant in him too. Yeah, where he thinks that whenever he shoots the ball, it's gonna go in. We talked about that, right? Yeah. Kyrie Irving feels like when he ever steps foot on a basketball court, he's the best player.
Best player. Yep.
And you need that. You need that to be a great player, bro. You need to have that confidence to roll when the ball rolls out. When the chip's on the line, I will make that shot, right? Yeah. Yeah. And he has a right to talk to a certain extent because he did make the shot in Game 7 of the Finals. He did, right? He is a very clutch player, right? Like you said, on the basketball court, Kyrie Irving, we said about Anthony Davis. He's top 5 talent, bro. Like
Yep.
his handle, the way he can finish at the hoop, the way he can pull up, right? He has
Unmatched.
all the tools, bro. And people say like, he has one of the best handles of ever in the NBA. I will absolutely agree with that 100% because I think Kyrie Irving's handle and the way he can like just cross people up and just keep that ball on a string is unbelievable, dude.
I'll say it in hood terms. He's got that sauce.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that sauce.
Yeah.
But like I said, when he talks, bro, like he's a different guy, bro. He's not like I remember when he got traded from Cleveland. People were like, yeah, he was very like kind of by himself, didn't really do much, which fair enough. That's who he is, right? But like you said, like why not just say like you said, just say like, look, I played with LeBron James. We won a title together. We are champions together. But I always felt on those teams that I was best to take the best shot. No disrespect to LeBron, but that's just my internal confidence. Had he said it something like that, okay, yes, maybe you might have pissed people off. Right? Of course, people get sensitive about everything.
Yeah,
but at least he gave LeBron his respect.
Yep.
Right, and he also promoted himself in that confident way. Right. Now I also get it that he's on KD's show and he wants to kind of pump up KD a little bit more and stuff like that. But he's just like the narrative of him is not going to change. Where this guy's like just a bad teammate and stuff like that. Where when you're saying stuff like this, you're just putting a perception out there like that, like that you are a bad team, that you had problems with LeBron, right?
And the coaching part is very like
Exactly,
if I'm
right?
Steve Nash, Steve Nash has a great relationship with KD.
Kevin Durant.
To work with Golden State, right?
Yeah.
And if like you can't go on the podcast and be like, oh, we don't need a coach. I don't feel like we need a coach. 2 weeks
after he got hired, bro. 2 weeks after Steve Nash gets hired, Kyrie Irving says, "Oh, we don't need a head coach. I think KD can be the coach. I can be the coach." Like, and the funny thing is, Kevin Durant picked Steve Nash to be the coach.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's who they picked to be the coach.
I honestly believe Steve Nash will do a great job in Brooklyn.
On to do 100%. You know what? I was watching All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They had Allen Iverson on. Right?
Yeah.
And he was saying that guy's gonna win coach. I think you said it too last week. He's gonna win coach of the year. I totally think that Steve Nash, with his basketball mind and the way
he's a savant. He's a basketball savant.
He's a savant. He's an expert, a pro at basketball like that. He will be able to put in his offensive mind because he came from D'Antoni's offense, right? He's played with Dirk Nowitzki, right? He can put Kevin Durant in those positions to not only help him come back from his injury, but also create different ways for Kevin Durant to score the ball, right? Mm-hmm. And he would be so helpful for Kyrie Irving too, right? I think that because we all know Steve Nash is one of the best point guards of all time, right?
Yeah. Best all-around point guards of all time.
Exactly. Next to, in my opinion, like there's him, Chris Paul. I'm talking about true point guard, like true point guard,
Jason
not
Kidd.
like Jason Kidd, right?
Yeah.
You, of course, you have John Stockton, right? You have those guys that are true point guards that are pass first point guards, but can also shoot, right? And finish and have a good handle.
Manage the game. Yeah.
Exactly. Game managers. They're an extension of the coach, right? Steve Nash was that, right? And that's why he's such a great coach. And I feel like Kyrie can learn so much because I think about this. Kyrie's a ball dominant player, right?
Yep.
KD left Oklahoma City because he had a ball dominant point guard, right?
Yep.
You think that somebody like Steve Nash, who is a floor general, that will help Kyrie Irving become more of a floor general to let the ball flow to Kevin Durant, right?
Yep. 100%. I feel like this is probably going to be – it's an underrated hiring just because a lot of people feel like Steve Nash doesn't have experience as a coach, right? But I feel like if you just know the game of basketball and you've seen Steve Nash – I've seen Steve Nash talk about basketball and I've seen him when I was a little kid watching Steve Nash and I used to like copy his moves and be like – because he gets the game. He knows what it is. Really smart.
He thinks the game at a high level.
I always say there's a lot of players in the league, like LeBron, all the smart players, where they see the play happen before it actually happens.
2 steps ahead of everybody else, right? And like Steve,
go ahead.
So Steve Nash, like of course, he's not a very athletic guy, right? But he used his mind to become a 2-time MVP, right? He used his basketball IQ to, of course, he had the right system he was into in Phoenix, but he ran that system to almost perfection, bro.
Perfection,
And that's like, there's a lot of guys in this league that just use their athletic ability or their whatever to be successful, but not a lot of people use that basketball IQ to be successful. And that's what I think separates like LeBron, Magic Johnson, those guys from the rest, because they had such high basketball IQ.
Yeah. And I honestly feel Kyrie has the IQ to be a great basketball player, but he's a scoring point guard. He feels like anytime that he steps on the court, he's the baddest dude on the planet.
And you know what, like I said, like you need that confidence, bro. Like you need that to be successful. Like you think LeBron Remember LeBron said, "Well, I'm the best player in the world. I'm not worried about it." Right? Like people,
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, you can't say that." Well, you should say that, bro, because
Yeah.
he believes it, right? Like you should. Anything you do, bro, anything you do in life, bro, as sports, you show that confidence. Yo, I'm the best at what I do, right?
Yeah.
If you put, especially professional athletes, bro, think much how much time and effort they put into that, the whole life is dedicated to it, right?
Yep.
You should believe you're the best, right?
Yep.
So I'm not flaming him for that to think that I think
Yeah.
I'm both best equipped to hit the game winning shot.
Yep.
And the biggest thing with Kyrie is like, well, you could have said that, but you could have said it in a better way where you're
Yep.
not just bringing more negative attention towards yourself and your team now. Where
Yep.
when the new season starts, bro, people are gonna be like, oh, so what happens now when you and Kevin Durant in the last play? Who's gonna get the ball, right? Now all these questions and all these other narratives are gonna start now.
Yep. And here's my bold prediction for the Nets going forward. I think this will be the first season we'll see Kyrie slowly develop into more of a true point guard. Steve Nash will wear off him, and we'll see Kyrie obviously will do his thing where he's got the sauce and everything like that. But this is the first time we'll see Kyrie actually run the offense and be like try to transition into a true point guard.
You think about it like this, right? They have Dinwiddie too. They have Karis LeVert. They have guys that can put the ball in the bucket, right?
You have the best scorer maybe of all time when you're 2-2.
You have exactly. The most offensively gifted player we've ever seen, right? Where I feel that if Kyrie can become that floor general, that game manager, right?
Yeah.
But he still has that capability of he's also all those offensive tools in his toolbox, right?
Yeah.
That would just take him to another level where then maybe we will start putting, because right now, if you look at all the point guards in the league, right, there's that tier where there's Steph, Dame. I would still put Chris Paul in there. I still think Chris Paul is one of the elite point guards in the game, right?
Yeah.
Then there's that next level where you kind of throw Kyrie. He doesn't know like Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
Other guys like maybe Russell Westbrook, stuff like that. He's in that second tier, right? He's not.
Yeah.
And I feel like him becoming a true floor general will just push him to even higher levels.
Quick question for you. I just quickly thought of this as you're talking.
Yeah.
Give me your top 5 scorers in the league right now.
Scorers, so just
pure scores where you're like,
okay,
I need this guy to get me 50 or 40 or whatever.
If I have one game, and I needed a guy to get me just get out there and give me buckets, right?
Yeah.
Number 1's Kevin Durant.
Yep.
We know what he's all about, right?
Okay.
Number 2 is James Harden, because I know James Harden will get me to the line, right?
Yep.
Number 3, give me Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Right. Give me Steph Curry. Number 4,
Curry. Okay.
Steph Curry, because and then I want to say Klay Thompson, because if Klay Thompson gets hot, like he'll get you a bucket. But then if he gets hot,
yeah.
But if I had to do it, give me LeBron, because I think LeBron will be able to figure out the game and give me buckets. Because LeBron could lead the league in scoring if he wanted to every year. He's just an all-around great basketball. He doesn't need to, right? But if LeBron needed to get you buckets in that last game, give me LeBron. So it'll be KD, James Harden, Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, LeBron James.
I have the same list, except for I'm going to put Kyrie in my top 5 scoring, because I think Kyrie's is too good of a scorer. And I was thinking right now, they have maybe the 2 of the best bucket getters of maybe in the league of all time. The last time I saw this, I'm just thinking, was Allen Iverson and Carmelo Anthony when they played on the Denver Nuggets, where 2 guys could just go get buckets.
And we're not talking about like anything else. We're talking about just strictly putting the ball in the basket.
Ball in the hoop. So I'm thinking like this team has the potential to just like really just be maybe one of the greatest scoring teams of all time. Just because.
But we're also missing on the secondary piece too. Karis LeVert can get buckets too, bro. Karis LeVert's no slouch in getting buckets, bro. Like he showed that in the bubble, bro. He can get buckets, right? And then we're forgetting about Spencer Dinwiddie too, dude. Spencer Dinwiddie is probably one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. Where he could be a starting point guard on most teams, bro. And a good starting point guard.
Totally look forward to what Brooklyn's going to do next year.
I think
100%.
And you know what, that was the reason. Like if Brooklyn, Brooklyn gets that 3rd star, bro. If they get like Bradley Beal or somebody else like that, bro, then it's over, bro. East is on lock for the next however many years, bro. Like,
but I feel like they don't need like another score.
I think they can run it with this team they have right now.
Yeah, like maybe another big. Another big would be pretty good.
Even then, like, bro, I think Brooklyn fully healthy, Brooklyn like on all cylinders, bro. I think nobody can touch them.
I feel like going into next season, even with Giannis and everything they've done, once KD comes back, I feel like they're the favorites to come to the East. No question. There's no question.
I don't know what this year, just because KD's been off for so long, right? And Kyrie hasn't played in a long time as well, right? I think now. unlike the Clippers, if these guys play every game, which I think they will, because I don't think KD wants to load manage, right?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't played since will be almost 2 years by the time the new season starts, right?
Yeah,
And
but I feel like what the difference between the Clippers and the Nets is the Clippers, like Kawhi Leonard's a good player. They're two-way. They had two good two-way players, but KD and Kyrie is like they could both go for 50 each night,
And
they
the other thing is both those guys know they can hit those shots and that matters the most, right?
and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do in basketball. The only thing that matters is that basketball going through the hoop, and they have two of the best in the league that
exactly.
can do
How
it.
do you win a game in basketball? Whichever team put the ball in the basket wins the other team, right? It's a simple
Yeah.
game after that, right?
Yeah.
Where, like I said, with the Clippers, right? You look at the Clippers, only one guy could take those shots and know it was going to go in. That's Kawhi Leonard. Where Paul George, he shot it, but he knew it wasn't going to go in, right?
Yeah. They got Doc Rivers fired, man.
Yeah. Okay, let me get your take on this then. How do you think about Doc in Philadelphia right now?
Honestly, weren't they gonna sign? There was Ty Lue or D'Antoni. There's rumors
They
that
were going
D'Antoni
Bills.
was
As soon as Doc got fired, they ran right to Doc, right?
Yeah, Doc. So I think I heard Stephen A. say this, and I kind of agree with what he said. Doc Rivers will probably put more emphasis on Ben Simmons actually developing a jump shot, maybe not shooting like 2 jump shots every year. And I think that is, if the Philadelphia 76ers want to get to the next level, Ben Simmons at least just shoot the jump shot. At least have me come defend you.
Exactly. At least be somewhat of a threat, right? Because right now they don't even guard him.
They don't.
Right? They just like it's literally you're playing 5-on-4.
Yeah,
right?
And Doc is back in the East, and I felt like he had more success in the East than he did in the West.
I do agree that. I think this is the thing though. Like I think Doc realizes that because Doc doesn't want to rebuild, right? He doesn't want to. For me with the Sixers, I think the Sixers are very much overrated, bro. I think people continue to just give these guys like pump these guys as championship contenders when they haven't. You think about it last year, right? That was their best chance to win a title when they had Jimmy Butler. Right?
Yeah.
Because Jimmy Butler held people accountable. Now I think Doc, he's a good talker like that. Like he will teach Jimmy. It's not Jimmy Butler. Joel Embiid that you can't play 5 games and take 4 games off. Right?
Yeah.
You can't. Like you need Joel Embiid to take his training and his like health seriously, bro. Like because this guy like he has so many injury problems. And he's so inconsistent playing wise. He gets injured. He takes games off here and there. Like you need that continuity, right?
Yeah.
I also think that they have, like you said before, they have no spacing. They have no spacing, right? And that's going to be tough because look at all the teams in the East now. They play small ball, right? They play small. Like Toronto goes small now, right? Boston goes small. Milwaukee can go small. Miami can go small, right? Like you need to have that fluidity, that movement. Where I think Al Horford is not Al Horford anymore, bro. Like it's redundant having him and Embiid on the same floor, and then But if you think about the funny thing is Al Horford wants to play like a small guy, where Ben Simmons wants to play like a big guy.
Yeah,
right? It's just I think the Sixers need to trade one of those 2 pieces, whether it's Embiid or Simmons. I think you trade Ben Simmons because you get more back for him.
Yeah,
right.
But I think Doc Rivers are probably going to make a lot of changes because Doc Rivers conventionally likes a team that's a bit more defensive oriented, and then
I do think it's a plus for Tobias Harris though, because he's back. Because Doc Rivers coached him well when he was with the Clippers.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that, and I think Doc Rivers, he really hasn't had a center like Embiid before. Like you know what I mean? Like Embiid, I love Embiid, but for some reason this dude just plays like a shooting guard, and he just always at the 3-point line shooting. And even Shaq says like, "Yo, dude, you're dominate. Just get the ball and just dominate the paint."
Embiid is so big. Like you look at him, he's big, bro. And he has those post moves where he can put the ball in the bucket. But like I said, he can move. He can move his feet. He's lateral. Has that lateral. But like he just settles for jump shots or fadeaways, right? He does not get in the post, back down. If they go small. Yeah. Well, look what's happening in the finals right now. They're nobody can guard the big man in AD.
Yeah. That's one thing that I wanted to mention too. I feel like for like the last couple of years, it's all been like the Warriors introduced the small ball lineup. The Lakers this year, like, you know what, we're going to go back to the conventional styles where we actually run a center, a power forward, a small forward, and then our shooting guard and point guard.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like it's a copycat league though. Like everybody that follows something, even if you look at the Raptors last year too, when they won, they played big. They played big. Yeah. They had Gasol. They had Ibaka.
Yeah.
or Pascal, and then they had Kawhi, and they had Danny Green and Kyle Lowry, right?
Yep.
So you see, like, yes, small ball is was revolutionary, right? But you
Yeah.
also know that you do need a big man, right? Now, if he can
Yeah.
stretch the floor, that's even better, right? But you do need a big man to even clog the lane or be a
Yeah.
rim protector too, right?
But to end it on a note, I think Doc Rivers will change the culture in
He
Philadelphia.
has
Brett
to, bro.
Brown did pretty well, but I felt like he was tailored more towards the players, and he didn't like.
He was a good rebuilding coach, I feel,
Yeah,
right? But you need a guy. Now, I think Doc Rivers, he's a good coach. I do think people think he's in the same level as like Greg Popovich or
yeah,
like a Rick Carlisle or like even one of those. But he's not really, right? Doc Rivers
yeah,
he's a good coach, right?
yep,
But I think the biggest thing for him is he's got to get to both those star players understand. Hey, look, you guys are wasting your talent, right? A
yep,
lot, and I think for me, I'm not the biggest Ben Simmons fan. I do believe he's uberly talented. I
yeah,
do believe he's a very good player. But
yeah,
like you said, you can't have a guy on a max deal.
yeah,
He's on a max deal, a super max deal,
yeah,
who shoots 2 jump shots.
yeah.
That's not doesn't cut it, bro. That doesn't cut
He's
it.
not gonna cut it. Yeah,
He's not as good as he is defensively. He's a good defensive player, great defensive player, right? As good as he is with his basketball IQ and vision, he can't shoot the ball. And like I said, we beat up on like guys like Markel Fultz couldn't shoot, Lonzo Ball couldn't shoot. But Ben Simmons can't shoot, bro.
yeah,
That's a problem.
yeah. And was his fourth year, fifth year going into the league,
Well, I think something like that, yeah.
and you don't have a jump shot where you don't even attempt it. Like, gotta be better.
And teams see that and they're like, we know he's not going to shoot. You could leave him wide open, he's still not going to shoot.
Yeah.
He's not confident in it.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, that's just we'll see that. Now, let's see. I think the Clippers are going to sign Ty Lue because I think he's just going to be an extension from that.
Yeah.
And I see D'Antoni going to New Orleans.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how good D'Antoni will probably be in New Orleans because he always needs like I don't think he's ever oriented around a big in his life. It's usually
You think though with like a guy like Lonzo that he could really kind of like extend the
so let's just think about it. D'Antoni played with Steve Nash and the high flying offense. Steve Nash ran the offense, pushed the pace, lived to the D'Antoni system. Then he went over to the New York Knicks. And then he had Carmelo. Carmelo probably thrived in that system because it's a scoring system. And then he went to the Lakers for a bit, and the Lakers wasn't like really. Kobe is Kobe.
Kobe at that point was Kobe. He wasn't going to change for anybody, right? But then look what he did for James Harden, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, if you're a guy he likes more of the perimeter people dominating the ball.
You got Brandon Ingram there, too.
Brandon Ingram, maybe Brandon Ingram turns into, like, James Harden 0.2, even though I feel like his game's more like KD-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess so. But I feel like Zion is like, if you're not running the offense through Zion, it's like, why do we draft him number 1?
Exactly. And I think the thing with Zion, though, man, he's got to cut his weight down, bro. He's gonna he needs it's really be. He's got to stay healthy like that, right?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what goes on with the Pelicans and the rest of the NBA.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to football because I know we're both football guys here as well.
Yeah.
So. First of all, Titans-Steelers game got canceled or postponed to later on in the season because the Titans have 16 guys that tested positive for COVID. Today, we also find out that Cam Newton is out because he got tested positive for COVID. Guy's going to be now in the Patriots-Chiefs game, which is when the season started, I'm like, blowout win for the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Now it's going to be. I was looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game because the Patriots are playing with Cam Newton. Cam Newton's playing well, right? Chiefs are looking, they're looking decent right now too.
They're looking like the Chiefs, yeah.
They just came off a big win where they beat up the Ravens,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, we'll see what it's like without Cam Newton. But what are your thoughts on, do you think the season will continue? Do you think the season's going to take a break?
I've honestly, like, the NFL has so much money. They're the only sports organization that has, like, I would say dumb money, right? Because they just make so much money
in the NFL. The amount of money they make is stupid.
They legitimately could have, like, the bubble, the NHL bubble, all the bubbles that the major sports had, right? They could have legit built one on their own for all these teams if they wanted to.
Like the bubble, yeah.
NFC or even division-wise, just have people. But the problem is, like, just too many players on the NFL roster compared to the NBA roster.
Right? You look at, like, NHL has, like, 17, 18 guys.
Yeah.
Basketball, 15 guys, right? Plus coaches, so maybe 30 people in tops, right? You look at the NFL, 53-man rosters
Mustard.
plus a coaching staff of like 30 people. Then trainers. It's like over 100 people per team, right?
Yeah.
Times that by 32. That's like
Yeah.
3,200, maybe even 4,000 people once you get media and all that involved, right? That's a city, bro. Right? And it's like,
And they're the only sports organization that is still allowing fans. Like
it
there's
is.
fans in some of
Like
the
Dallas
games.
had
Like,
fans.
yeah.
Kansas City had fans, right? So I mean,
So I felt like they half-assed this. Like we're doing protocol. Like we're testing, but we also want fans to be there, and we have people playing football and like right close to each other, and it's just like, what did you expect? I honestly expected this to happen.
But you're right with that. I expected it to happen as well. Now I didn't think the team of the Titans would get 16 cases, right? I didn't think that was gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Like I thought, okay, if one guy gets it, okay, that's fine. One guy
Yeah.
gets it, he goes on that COVID list, he does his quarantine, the team, because I think the first week there was no positive tests, right?
Yeah.
Then the week before there was a couple, and now it's kind of spiked even more right now,
Yeah.
right? So for me, do I think the season will go on? Yes, I do think the NFL, the guys that run the league, they make a lot of money for a reason. They must be doing something right. They're smart people, right?
Yeah.
They'll figure a way out to get it fixed. But for the bubble wise, like even I get it. Players hate the bubble. Players don't want to be in a bubble. It's evident that the NHL and NBA are not going to have bubbles anymore.
Yeah.
Right. But even like having a division, like have like for example, NFC South division where it's somewhere like in Florida where New Orleans plays, Carolina plays, Tampa, and whoever the other team is.
Yeah.
Tampa, Atlanta, right? They play in a bubble, right? Or vice versa. Then you go to another. Then you play your playoff games, right? Or you do this and that. Now, I do think that this might just be a hit because that one, like I said, the Titans thing kind of blew out of proportion. Where they're all on the same team, it blew out. Now, what the key is for this is if anybody else on the Patriots gets it, because if they blows up on the Patriots, then they're gonna be in a big problem because then you're gonna have two teams. Because then, like right now, I get it. Like the Steelers and the Titans, they can just give them their bye week now and then play it on their bye week later, right? But you can't do that for every team, right? Like it's just a schedule nightmare. Now, I do think that if they get this under control, then the season will go on without a hitch. Nothing will be fine, right? People forget about it. If it gets bad though, and this happens, there's gonna be some explaining to do by the NFL.
The thing is, like, the NFL, I feel like is more powerful than the government. Like the Shield, like
it's
these
Shield,
guys, they have so much power. Like these attorneys and everything. Like it's really hard to take down the NFL. Like the thing was, like before COVID happened, and then during COVID, it was like, which organization do you think, sports organizations do you think would still have fans and still really be like, we're gonna continue with their scheduled program? A lot of people said the NFL because they have so much money, and like I said, they kind of like half-assed it, where it's like, we're gonna have fans, we're gonna do the precautions.
I think the fans was about the owners complaining because the owners want money. The owners want money, bro. The owners could care less about the players catching COVID, bro. The owners don't want to lose money. They know they're gonna lose money now, but they want to lessen how much money they lose. Right?
Yeah, but I honestly feel like the NFL, regardless of what happens, even if there's COVID cases, they will still continue to play. It's just it's a business.
It's a business, bro. They're printing money regardless whether you're there or not. Now, if players like star players are coming, no, hold up, we're not gonna play anymore because we're then I think you'll see something happen. But even then, the owners could. The NFL is so cutthroat like that. Would be, fine. You don't want to play? Fine, you're cut.
That's the thing about the NFL is
it's not guaranteed contracts.
It's not guaranteed contracts, and regardless, even if you're like a big time like athlete, like for example in the NBA, if LeBron James says he's not playing in the bubble, there's no point of the bubble.
All right, the bubble's gone, right?
The bubble's gone. I think, but the NFL, even if like star players are saying like, "Yo, we're not playing," it's just such a team sport where people will still be like, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, regardless if Patrick Mahomes is there or not. Yeah. It's amazing that we have him. He's a great talent, but I'm still going to go root for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Like you said, it's the shield that is bigger than everybody else. No one player. Not Tom Brady, not Russell Wilson, not Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Anybody. Nobody's bigger than the shield.
Bigger than the NFL.
Nobody's bigger than the NFL. Nobody will ever be bigger. Like you'll see it like Michael Jordan, bigger than the NBA. LeBron James, bigger than the NBA. Not in the NFL, bro. Nobody's as big as the NFL.
Nope.
But now let's go to the football. Okay. So your Dallas Cowboys are playing the Cleveland Browns. And that game's really interesting to me because Cowboys are 1-2, Browns are 2-1, right? That
Yeah.
does not happen, right? Browns are normally a losing team. I think this is going to be a really big shootout game, bro. I think now Cleveland has been more of a running team with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, where Dallas coming after last week. Zeke did not look good last week, too. Zeke looked really, really bad last week, right? Can the Cowboys bounce back against the Browns?
Before we get to that game, I just wanted to mention great game in Seattle, though. That was a great game.
Yeah, really good game.
Before, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, like I've been a long time fan of the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm accustomed to these things where we have supreme talent, where we're supremely talented, and then I'm watching that game and I'm like, oh, okay, Russell Wilson's coming in hot, this and that. We played pretty decent. Like, obviously, it could have played better, but we get a safety in like the first quarter, and I'm like, Zeke falls. It's not even like he was tripped. He just falls into. I'm like,
he ran to the offensive lineman and just fucking fell.
Dallas Cowboys beat themselves before they let a team beat them ever. It's just I just don't
the
get
Cowboy,
it.
As a Steve Nash said, the Cowboys will always be the Cowboys. It's the accident waiting to happen.
I never believed in that, and then like every single time I see it happen, I'm like, yo, this is actually true.
It's true, bro. It's true. And like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like being a Seahawks fan, right?
Yeah.
I was not worried with the Cowboys. Even when they were winning, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
The way Russell Wilson's playing, bro, like they'll come back. I didn't think they're gonna score a touchdown, right? I didn't know. I thought they could get a field goal, but
yeah,
I was like, you know, they'll be fine, right? Now they should have not been in that position if DK Metcalf was an idiot and didn't fucking hot dog it.
He had a Deshaun Jackson moment.
Yeah, exactly. And then
ironically happened with the Cowboys too.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson happened against the Cowboys. Now the Cowboys got revenge. Two batters against DK Metcalf this time.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think the Cowboys, bro, like the Cowboys, they have all that offensive talent, right? But the defense is bad, man. The
defense is like I honestly thought we would have probably had one of the best defenses going into the season, just because we had so many. Like our front seven is actually really good.
Yeah,
Everson Griffin, Marcus Lawrence. Ever since he's got paid, like I saw a stat, he's only had like 5 sacks in like 25 games, and I'm like, what happened to what? Well, come on, man. And we got Jalen Smith. I love Jalen Smith. And then when we have Balraj, but he's injured, and our corners are like here and there. And I'm like,
the Cowboys secondary is weak, dude. And I think the Cowboys need to sign Earl Thomas, bro. Like as much as baggage as he has, bro.
Yeah,
you need somebody in the same.
Yeah, that entire game. Russell Wilson, like at least should have had like 4 or 5 touchdowns of like 80+ yards. I felt just hucking the ball down the seat.
Like, dude, there was like the coverage. Like Tyler Lockett was open every pass.
Every play. Yeah,
every play he was wide open, right? And I was like,
dude, Cowboys' best defensive player this year has been a guy that hasn't played football for 4 to 5 years. And that's Aldon Smith.
Aldon Smith was out there for 5 years. I don't know.
If I'm Aldon Smith, I'm like, bro, guys, I haven't played football for 4 to 5 years. I was in rehab. I came back. I mean, I'm the best defensive player on this team. What's wrong with you guys? Like, seriously.
And I feel like, I think, this game's in Dallas, right?
Yeah, it's in Dallas.
Yeah, so the game's in Dallas. Now, there's no fans holding out. But I do think if Cleveland, because Cleveland's got some guys on the defensive side too, man. They got Myles Garrett. If Myles Garrett gets after Dak, they got Denzel Ward in the secondary, right? The
offensive line isn't the same. It's not the best offensive line in the league.
I think I have a feeling, bro, if the Browns get going early, well, I mean, Dallas has been down every game early anyway, and then that's why Dak's stats get inflated so much because he has to throw the ball to get them back in the game.
Yeah.
Right? But I feel like Dallas needs to get off to a good start. They cannot be going down by double digits early in a game, right?
As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I love Zeke. I felt like Zeke's best season was his first season where he was in shape and he could actually take it to the house. I remember one play where they ran.
He looks fat, bro. He looks fat, really fat.
I remember the one play where I think they went 13-3 that year. They lost twice to the Giants. That was kind of funny though. But I remember one play where they ran a screen play to Zeke and the Steelers, and he just took it to the house. Zeke doesn't have that speed anymore. He's just more like chunky. He's just he's big. Dude,
he's been, his whole feed me more thing. He's been feeding too much, bro. Like,
you gotta go reverse psychology on that. Go the other way.
Like, slow down, right?
Yeah, I need you to be fast.
Yeah, Zeke, he's so talented, bro. Like, him, Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, right? Probably top 3 backs, right? Bro, they need to give him the ball. Keep sticking with him. He's the engine, right?
Yeah,
yes, you have Amari Cooper, you have CD, you have Michael Gallup, right? but Zeke's the engine, bro, and they need to start feeding the ball more in the beginning of the game where
And
they start throwing the ball. And then
I honestly feel Mike McCarthy just loves to throw the ball, and I think we're seeing the transition. I feel like this year we're going to see the transition where Zeke will probably still get decent numbers, but we'll see Dak's numbers go
Dak's
up.
the engine of the offense,
Yeah.
not Zeke anymore.
Because we got like 3 receivers that could be number ones on any other
You
team.
have 3,000-yard receivers on your team.
Yeah, and we still don't win games. It doesn't make sense to me.
It
but
doesn't fathom, right? But
okay, going into the Cleveland game, Cleveland, I mean, they're star-studded too. If you think about it, that Kareem Hunt as just a backup, bro.
He's a third down back. Kareem Hunt's a third down back.
Are you kidding me? Kareem Hunt as your third down back.
Yeah.
And then you got Odell and you got Jarvis Landry and you got a couple other nice receivers.
Austin Hooper, you still have David Njoku, right? You have those pieces, bro.
And we couldn't stop Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and the Seattle core. How are we going to go stop that?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the only other thing is, though, Baker Mayfield is not Russell Wilson, though. But
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
So, I mean, I think this is the thing with the Browns, though. The Browns will run the ball. They're going to run the ball on the Cowboys. That's how they're
And if they run it successfully, then it opens up the play action, which you got Odell and Jarvis Landry.
Opens up the whole playbook.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I don't think it's a very big game for the Cowboys because if they lose, they're still probably going to win the division, right? Because the division is garbage.
At
right?
one time, the division was so-called the best division in the league, but this, you see the trend where it's like the NFC.
I think because Philly looks
the
garbage.
NFC at least.
And Philly's garbage, and we know the fucking Washington football team and
the Washington football team.
Yeah, the Washington football team is just it's garbage, bro. I think for the Browns, the Browns need to win as many games as possible because if they want to make the playoffs, bro. Steelers look good. Ravens look good.
Yeah.
The Bengals are no pushover, bro. Right?
Joe Burrow, man, that guy's talented.
I mean, for me, like watching a Seahawks game, I don't care if the Seahawks lose this game. I'd rather see.
Who are they playing this week again? Miami, right?
So
they're gonna win that.
Jamal Adams is injured, right? He's not playing this week, so I don't play him. Let him rest. You need him for later on in the season, right? Same with Chris Carson. Chris Carson might play. I don't want Chris Carson to play.
You guys hide, man. Hyde's been beasting.
Yeah, but I need Chris Carson to stay healthy this year.
Yeah.
Right. I think Seattle wins this game because they're a better team, right? But I don't think just take it easy though, right? And then I think the other games this weekend is Philly and San Fran this week. That's a Sunday night game.
That's a weak Sunday night game.
I guess it would have been better if both teams were full strength, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the COVID cases and everything like that. But we'll see, wait and see.
Yes, sir.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right,
Till
guys.
next week.
Well, like I said, follow More Than Sports podcast. Follow me on Process Sports. You guys take care and stay safe, and we will talk to you guys soon.